So, as the Tokyo Game Show draws ever closer, excitement is in the air for a lot of gamers. For one, Nintendo gamers are looking forward to the new Nintendo Switch and all the possibilities that could occur with that particular console. And in addition to Nintendo gamers, we also have Xbox gamers, especially the Japanese front of Xbox gamers. They are looking forward to the TGS broadcast or showcase, what have you, for Xbox, because we know recently Phil Spencer would have invited, everyone to make sure and tune in to this particular, broadcast.
Konnichiwa. It's Phil Spencer here from Xbox, and I'd like to invite players in Japan, across Asia, and around the world to tune in to the Xbox Tokyo Game Show 2024 broadcast on Thursday, the 26th of September at 7 p.m. Japan Standard Time. We hope you enjoy the show.
And of course, we can't leave out our favorite community, the PlayStation community, the ponies. You see, they are very excited for remasters and remakes. I mean, they are asking everyone, when is the next remaster or remake coming out for PlayStation 5? And I mean, there's a simple, response to that.
Call a crackhead. I'm John Kennedy, and I approve this message.
You heard the guy. Call a crackhead, ask a crackhead, because somebody has to be smoking crack to be constantly asking for and paying for the same game over and over. But I digress. You see, I believe that this year's Tokyo Game Show for Xbox has the potential to be a very big one. You see, Microsoft has never been strong in Japan. That's obvious. But I know that one thing Japan loves, and there's one thing Japan always need. I'll talk about it later. But what got this idea into my mind is what was said by Sarah Bond some months ago. Could you guys remember when she said this?
And we actually have more creators right now building for Xbox than ever before.
Thousands.
By nature,
Yeah.
Thousands of them by nature of those investments. And we got more to come. There's some exciting stuff coming out in hardware that we're going to share this holiday.
Here I come. Oh, here I come.
And we're also invested in the next generation roadmap. And what we're really focused on there is delivering the largest technical leap you will have ever seen in a hardware generation, which makes it better for players and better for creators and the visions that they're building.
Although the power of the next Xbox home console most likely would be a very powerful and competent box, I am concerned with at this point in time, with the handheld console. You see, with this handheld console, it could change everything for Xbox in Japan, and I will explain what I mean in the upcoming video. So sit back, relax, and let's talk about it.
This is a sickness!
Let's get it. So before we start, let me just say, if it is you want to show your support, you can do so by simply subscribing. I know I have a lot of viewers who would support via the live streams. They would send something in the super chat or via PayPal or what have you. But if it is you are interested in this type of news or this type of information, Xbox news, of course, a little bit of Nintendo thrown in there, and of course the Sony Pony Salt, please consider subscribing. Now let's get back to the video. So as was said before, Xbox has never done well in Japan when compared to their competitors, and we can guess as to why Xbox never did well. It could be Phil Spencer trying to buy Nintendo. I mean, that could have ticked off the Japanese people. It could mean that the Japanese people really just like supporting their own and don't like supporting or giving the headway to any foreign company. Or it could also mean that the form factor that Microsoft traditionally produced their console in does not appeal to the Japanese people. I mean, that last one there, we'll go into that one a little further as we go on in the video. But we can only guess as to why the Japanese people do not support Xbox as much as Nintendo or Sony. However, the numbers is telling us that, throughout the years, Xbox never really did well. Look at these numbers provided by VGC. As we look at this list, we see that the Xbox console, the original one, that sold just under 500,000 units in Japan. Then we saw the Xbox 360 took the lead. That sold 1.6 million consoles. Wow. Then we saw the lowest selling Xbox console, which is the Xbox One. That sold over just under 115 million units. And then we have Xbox Series X and S selling over 140,000 consoles in Japan. But since then, we have an update with the Xbox Series S and X in Japan, and we know that it has sold over 600,000 consoles in Japan, becoming the second most sold Xbox console ever in Japan. Wow. Now, this is very interesting. These are some interesting numbers to look at. But we know one of the things that would have contributed to the Series X and S selling so much in Japan is because of the form factor of the Series S. No doubt we are seeing very clear that the Japanese people love small consoles. And this is where I believe Microsoft has the opportunity. Microsoft has, a chance to, bring what the Japanese people need, what the Japanese people want. They want small, compact consoles. And guess what could deliver all of that and more for Xbox? That is a handheld. Now, here is why Microsoft Handheld will be put in a unique position. Because let's look at the competitors. Let's first look at Nintendo. Although Nintendo is loved by many, we have to be honest and say that, the performance and the power, the graphical power of the Nintendo Switch, it is not up to scratch with any modern experience. There are gamers in Japan who would love to play, their beautiful graphical games like Final Fantasy 16, like Final Fantasy 7, like some of the MMO games, more demanding games, and they would like to play those games on the go. And even with the Nintendo Switch 2, it still may not be up to date with the current state of graphical fidelity with other consoles. And this is a great opportunity that Xbox has to capitalize on that. Xbox has the money and the know-how to, produce a handheld console that is able to download some of these, very big games natively on the console. They have the know-how to, compete with the ROG Allies of the world, with the Steam Decks of the world, and at the same time appeal to the Japanese audience. So although Nintendo will continue to sell millions upon millions of that Switch 2, Xbox still has, an opportunity where they can help Japan players see, and players all over the world see, that they could also have something very, very competitive to compete with the Nintendo Switch, because it brings something different, especially with Game Pass and all their first party content coming on that particular console. Now, what about Sony's entry when it comes to handheld gaming in Japan and all over the world? They currently have the Portal, and the Portal is basically a streaming device, something that uses the PlayStation 5, and they use that particular link in order to play their games. And in order for someone to get into the PlayStation ecosystem of things, they would need to first purchase a PlayStation 5, and then they will need to purchase the PlayStation Portal. So from the jump, they are at a disadvantage when it comes to, not only getting to play the game native, but also the cost to entry is very high with the PlayStation. And make no mistake, the numbers show that not much persons are buying the PlayStation Portal. The numbers that we have in America, we know it's only 3% of PlayStation gamers who would have purchased the PlayStation Portal. And that number may not be as big in Japan. I'm guessing that maybe 5 to 10% of the gamers there in Japan would have bought the Portal. And why did Sony choose to have this two system SKU in order to play handheld gaming in Japan? Is because they were beaten to a pulp by Nintendo over the different generations, and because of that, that is why they played it safe with the PlayStation Portal. That is why it is lacking. That is why this entry into handheld gaming is lackluster. They are afraid to go back into handheld gaming, although there are some rumors that is suggesting that Sony would soon have a PSP successor, a proper handheld. But this opportunity that Microsoft has, they can be the only console that is able to play AAA games natively on a handheld console if they decide to announce and release, that style of console that I would have previously stated. But how plausible are all these thoughts? How possible could these things come true? Well, we have some indication as to, this just might be happening for the Xbox platform. Listen to some articles, listen to some videos, and you will see how all of this could really happen. Listen.
One other thing I wanted to ask you about that I thought we actually might hear something about from you. I mean, you had a great show. I'm not complaining. But I thought, well, there's something that's been rumored, that's been talked about. We talked about it on the pre-show. There was a big reaction from our audience here, and that is an Xbox handheld.
Yeah.
You've been building the business around this mantra of go where the players are. Whether it's on PC, whether it's through
So
the
we
cloud.
should have a handheld.
I think so.
I think we should have a handheld.
Do you want to
too.
say anything?
How you do that, Dan?
No, I don't want to say. I think you have to have Sarah on. Sarah Bond, our president of Xbox, which is awesome. But the future for us in hardware is pretty awesome, and the work that the team is doing around different form factors, different ways to play, I'm incredibly excited about. Today was about the
Congratulations! Oh my God!
Games.
Yeah.
We showed some of our Gen 9 console, Series S, Series X, the work that we're doing. But we will have a time to come out and talk more about platform, and we can't wait to bring them to you guys.
All right, I'm not going to let you off the hook quite.
Okay,
One more
I tried.
So hypothetically, if Microsoft did an Xbox gaming handheld, PC device, would it be a Steam Deck-like dedicated piece of hardware that I can play offline, or would it be something I would need a Wi-Fi connection to stream things from?
No, I think what I'm finding, I'll do it this way. So I like my ROG Ally, my ROG Ally is my Lenovo Legion Go, fantastic, my Steam Deck. I think being able to play games locally is really important.
You can.
So there you have it. The Xbox executive teams have been dropping hints throughout the year that there is going to be a reveal of the Xbox, handheld. Now, I am saying that the perfect place to do this is at TGS. The perfect place to do this is at a country where it is, we know the gamers would love handheld gaming. Now, would Microsoft do it? We'll have to wait and see. But there's even more rumors concerning an Xbox handheld. Listen.
Microsoft's next-gen console plans reportedly include an Xbox Series X successor and a handheld, take on the Steam Deck. Xbox is apparently continuing with its dual console approach. With the PS5 Pro storming out to store shelves later this year, the absence of a mid-generation refresh for the Xbox Series X is even more notable. But Microsoft is reportedly focusing on its next-gen hardware plans instead. Team Xbox opted for two versions of its console for this generation, split between the traditional high-tech Xbox Series X and the more affordable, all-digital Xbox Series S. That dual strategy is apparently going to continue into the next console generation, according to a Windows Central report discussing the platform's plans for its 25th anniversary. Windows Central sources allege that Microsoft is now working on a traditional console that would follow up the Xbox Series X and compete with the inevitable PS6, while at the same time developing the long-rumored Xbox Handheld said to be the company's own take on the Steam Deck. The Nintendo Switch 2 is also inbound next year, so it makes sense to capitalize on the growing appetite for more handheld gaming. I'm just curious to see whether Xbox would let other storefronts onto its X-Boy, like Steam and itch and GOG, as the Steam Deck kind of does already, or if it'll be more of a traditional Switch situation. Either way, I'd be happy to play some Game Pass hits on the go. Or, in bed. Microsoft itself hasn't said much about its future hardware plans, but Xbox did recently tease that it's hard at work on the next generation, while prepping to release 3 new consoles this year. That includes a 2TB version of the Xbox Series X, a Xbox Series X all-digital version, and a 1TB version of the Xbox Series S, which should turn it into a good little reliable Game Pass machine.
So guys, there you have it. That rumor there is rather new, about a day or two old, and we are seeing that everyone is excited for the potential coming out. So we will have a battle of both the Nintendo Switch 2, the Xbox Handheld, and the potato that is the PlayStation Portal. But we'll have to see how things transpire this Thursday here at TGS. Would Microsoft do it? I think they can. I think they could pull it off. I could picture Phil Spencer walking on, showing these Final Fantasy games coming onto the platform, and then saying all of this could be playable on our new Xbox Handheld. Wow, that would be a mic drop moment. But let me hear what you think about everything that was said today. Let me know what are your thoughts on the topic in the comment sections below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.